Greetings my loyal subjects, I am King Coda and today we'll be learning how to make a YouTube thumbnail in Pixlr Online. Now, we want to create a creepy kind of thumbnail, but honestly this can be applied to anything from a how-to video to a Minecraft video, honestly whatever you want. Now, today we'll be using the Playful Pixlr X because this is more of a beginner tutorial and we want people who've never used Photoshop or anything like that, like myself, to get into photo editing. That way they can make their thumbnails look great. So once you click here, you want to go over to Create New, over to Web 720p 1280 by 720. This will allow us to have the perfect size for our thumbnail and honestly make it really easy for us. So I'm going to be doing a creepy Siren head type thumbnail, so let's go ahead and type Siren head. Sorry for the loud keyboard. Now, if you don't already have an image for your background, you can have a solid color as your background. So if you want a solid white background, solid red background, solid black background, or honestly anything, you can just choose it. You can put in the code here if you have a specific color, sorry about that you want to use, but for us, we don't need that. Keep everything up here the same and hit create. Alright, now you're met with a blank canvas. Over here on the right side, this is where all of your images are going to go. Anything from your background to your main focus, if you're putting yourself in your thumbnails, this is where it's all going to go. Over here on the left side, however, we have all of our editing tools. We can crop the image, cut certain parts out, adjust certain filters, add in some liquefaction, add text. Honestly, there's a lot to unpack here, so I recommend in your free time going through and getting a feel for where all of these are at and how they work. But since we already have the images we need, we're just going to go down here and throw them in. And here we have our two images that we're going to be using for our thumbnail today. So let's start off with the background. We just want to take this and drag it onto our screen and hit add to current. It fills out our background perfectly, so we don't have to really do too much editing with this one. Now, we are going to add some effects and make it look a little bit, sort of dingy, sort of creepy like. So we're going to go over here to adjust. We're going to change up some of these values. Now again, you don't have to do this. I just do it just so everything looks a bit unique to it. We'll go to filter here and put the sharpness just about at max. Lower the clarity a little bit. Don't need any smoothness. Let's add some grain. Make it look a little bit vintage. Some darkness around the sides there. Make the center focus what we're going to have in the very front. Fringe we'll add just a little bit of to add some distortion to the photo, and you can go through here and add anything you personally want that'll make it fit your style. But enough messing around with all that. Let's move on to our main feature, our main character for this whole thing, and that is Siren Head. We're going to hit add current, and we get a nice image of Siren Head's lower half. Lovely. Now, even though that will attract some clicks, we don't need that. We need to lower this down by hitting the arrange tool over here and just drag it to where he looks like he belongs in the frame right about here. I think that looks pretty good. Let's line it up. There we go. Alright. Now we have Siren Head, but we have two conflicting backgrounds here. So we want to get rid of all of Siren Head's background and make it look like he's meant to be in this photo. So we want to make sure we have Siren Head selected in the layers over here. We want to go over to the little scissors icon and hit AI cutout. This will automatically cut out what the program thinks is the background, and this can be a really helpful tool. Now, if you're using this for free, you just have to wait 10 seconds while their robots do all their work. Alright, now that it's cut out, we can see that's cut out just a little bit too much. So let's go ahead and go through, and we're going to touch up this image. We're going to select keep. We're going to go to the draw cutout. Lower the size a little bit. And what this is going to do is it's going to keep anything we select. So we want to go through here. We want Siren Head to have a neck, because no neck Siren Head's a little bit weird. Alright, let's go through here and try to guess where his arm is going to be. No, we were close. Go back through. And you can overdo it a little bit because we will be cleaning this image up and making it look real good. Alright, now that we've gotten most of Siren Head back, it's looking a lot better. We're just going to go through here and we're going to click remove. And now we're going to trace along the outside of Siren Head and make sure we get all of that background out of there. Now if you clip into Siren Head a little bit, that's okay. Again, these images are pretty small and the smaller details won't really be noticed too much. So there's room for error. And over time you will get better and it will be a lot cleaner whenever you do it. So every time you hit that AI cutout button, the program learns a little bit more and eventually it will be pretty darn precise. It already pretty much is. But we're just going to cut a little bit out. And the reason we have Siren Head selected is if we selected the photo over here, we'd start cutting out bits of the photo and we don't want that. And if you ever make a mistake, just click undo. It'll undo your last action, and I think it can go back about 15 times before it stops. Alright, I think we've cut out a good portion. I think it's going to look great. Again, people are really only going to see the image maybe about this big, so they really aren't going to notice the fine little details. So we can leave a little bit room for error. So now let's add some text. Click add new text, and of course it's going to have some pre-text here. You just want to remove that, and let's figure out what we want to add here. Let's just say Siren Head. Let's make it pretty simple. And now we want to choose our font. Now from here, there's a lot to choose from. And we're just going to go through here and we're going to figure out which one fits ours, the style we want to go for. Alright, I think we're going to go with this one. Let's go ahead and change up the color to a sort of dark red here. Let's expand this all the way to each side. Now, we don't want it being that small. Let's also increase the size of this image to about this. We want it to really pop. Alright, we'll have it at the very top there. Now, let's say you don't want the text going over Siren Head. You want to be behind him and make it look like he's sort of coming out of the photo. You just want to take the Siren Head text layer and drag it below the Siren Head. The way the layers work is whatever layer's on top is the front of the photo. So if we had the background at the top, it'd cover everything up. Have Siren Head at the top. Now he's in front of that background. And there we go. I think this looks pretty good, but there's one more thing we want to do, and that is make Siren Head look like he is part of the photo. He doesn't really fit there because he doesn't have the same effects as the background. So we want to select Siren Head. We want to go over here back to effects. Oh, sorry, go back to filters, I mean. Let's crank the sharpness up so he fits that sort of sharp. We want to crank the sharpness up so he's sharp. Crank the grain up. There we go. Now he's looking like he blends to the photo a little bit more, like he belongs there. Lower the quality. No. I mean, clarity. My bad. Sorry, guys. Add a little bit of this. I think that looks alright. We don't want him to be exactly like the photo, then he'll start blending in. And that's it. You just gotta hit save now, and you'll be brought to this. You name your file. If you've already done so, you don't really need to name it anything else. And now you can choose what image file type you want. If you're going for a YouTube thumbnail, I recommend hitting JPEG, putting the quality to max, and you hit download. And just like that, it's downloaded straight to your computer. I've already done this once, and I messed up the recording, so we got 2 photos now. And that's all you need to do to make a YouTube thumbnail. If you guys want me to go more in depth with this program, and that is going through all of these, what they do, and honestly, the amount of stuff you can do with this is just mind-blowing. For me, for a lot of my videos, I use the liquify tool to make my face look distorted and creepy. If you guys want me to do if you guys want me to do a tutorial on that, just let me know, and I'd be happy to. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope it helped you guys out. As always, you can grab this website in the link down below, and if you are following along with me, let me know what yours looks like. Send me a link. As always, thank you for watching, and trust the king.